Congressman Khanna is a Democrat from California's 17th District, a member of the House Oversight Committee, as well as the Progressive Caucus, which has been knee-deep in the Build Back Better negotiations, and he joins me now. Every time I talk to a member on the House side, they're like in the same boat as the rest of us.
We're waiting on Manchin.
I text him, I'm like, what do you know? It's like, I don't know. What does Joe Manchin want? Like,
well, we've done our part. I mean, we've sent a bill. We compromised. We started at $3.5 trillion. And we need him now to deliver. The president looked us in the eyes and said he has the 50 votes. Here's what I don't understand. He says we want a 10-year number. We don't want it just for 1 year. Fine, we had the 10-year number. That was the $3.5 trillion. You can't have it both ways.
Okay, well, but here's what he's saying, and I want to just give you what Manchin's saying. He's saying now, this was the latest thing. He's giving you a budget because for some reason that's the number. Now, never mind that all of you guys passed $758 billion in 1 year of authorization for the defense program yesterday without anyone batting an eye.
Right. $20 billion more than the president wanted.
$30 billion more than the president wanted. Stipulated, okay? He says the budget is 1.75, and then he says this sort of weird thing about, like, that's the budget, and you should make things permanent, and you guys figure out what's in there.
Well, here's the problem. I mean, to make it permanent, it is $1.4 trillion on the child tax credit.
Right.
So, and we don't have the Republican vote. So, okay, we'll make that permanent. You got to increase the budget.
Right.
Or you want to take away every climate provision. You want to take away universal preschool. You want to take away the child care. I mean, it's just he knows it's not possible.
Well, but then where are we? Like, where are we right now?
Where we are is President Biden needs to say, I got the progressives to compromise. They gave up half their stuff. I looked them in the eye and I said, I have the 50 votes. It's time we vote. This is my credibility, my reputation. Have the vote. Dare him to vote no.
Now, I will remind you that Mitch McConnell tried that on the ACA.
Yes.
And Donald Trump tried it. It was a high-stakes thing, and I'll never, for the rest of my life, I will remember where I was at 1 in the morning when John McCain came up and went.
Here's the difference. They were trying to take away things from the working class. We're trying to give things to the working class. I think it's very difficult. And then if he votes no, then we could do it sequentially. Let's see, what is he opposed to? I just think people are tired of waiting. The longer this drags out, the harder it's going to be to get this passed.
I want to talk about a topic that has been in the news recently, which is student debt. There was, starting in the Trump administration, a sort of suspension of payments on student debt as part of COVID relief. Those are set to go back. I think start back in February. People that owe money have been getting emails being like, here's it coming again. Thus far, the administration has declined to either cancel student debt or postpone it further. What do you think they should do?
It's substantively wrong, and it's awful politics. President Biden campaigned on $10,000 of student loan forgiveness. He needs to deliver, and they should continue not having people repay until it's tied to some student forgiveness. Otherwise, they're going to say, okay, I didn't have to pay loans under Trump. Now, under President Biden, I'm suddenly going to have to pay loans.
Do you think that some people say that they have essentially unilateral ability to cancel debt. They should just cancel the $10,000 that he ran on and just do that.
That's my understanding, and that's what people smarter than me, they've looked into it, and they say he has that ability. And
I mean, until the 5 justices of the Supreme Court say he does.
Fine, so let the Republicans sue. Let them be the party that sues to say we want you to have to pay thousands of dollars of student loans.
Better ask forgiveness than for permission.
Yeah, especially because they're on solid legal ground here. And this is an issue. You talk to young folks, they care about 2 things. They're under debt, forgive the student loans, and climate. These are the 2 things that motivate them, and it's just, I can't tell you how dumb the politics are to have them start paying in February.
What do you think, there's a lot of back and forth about sort of where the economy is right now. And one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is, I understand, it's very obvious that inflation freaks people out. I understand why it does, high gas prices. But I also think there's like a little bit of underappreciation of how Progressive Caucus, the Biden administration, and even working with Trump, who just wanted to sign checks and didn't really care what was in the bill, actually foresaw a tremendous amount of very progressive macro policy that no one seems to want to take credit for because the environment right now is very uncertain and inflation's high and people are pissed off about that.
I think you make a good point. I stand by everything we did. I stand by the stimulus checks. I stand by the American Rescue Plan. I stand by infrastructure. I stand by having investments in childcare and climate. And yes, obviously, inflation has to be addressed. But in my view, that's partly the Fed's issue. They were buying back bonds. They're buying back mortgage securities. I mean, the Fed needs to deal with that, not that we have some austerity politics in fiscal policy when we're helping the working class.
Let's talk about democracy. So today they said they're going to try to work towards passing some versions of the bill that have passed the House to sort of refortify American democracy. It's unclear whether they can clear the filibuster or go around it. That aside, what is your perspective as these January 6 hearings or investigation plays out? You are colleagues with these people that were actively participating in essentially like an anti-democratic putsch in the U.S. Capitol.
You know what was the most shocking to me? Donald Trump Jr.'s text to Meadows saying, please tell my father he needs to do more than tweet. You know we're in a bad shape when his son can't get through to him and is asking Meadows to stop Donald Trump. It shows, how outrageous it was what was going on.
Yeah, and I wonder, too, do you think this is having the effect of it seems to be part of what's happening here is just reminding everyone what they felt in that moment, what they felt in the 12 and 16, 24 hours after, that Trump has done a very good job and Fox has done a very good job of trying to memory hole.
I think it's reminding people, and we're learning how serious it was. I didn't realize the extent of it. A PowerPoint presentation saying he was going to declare a national emergency. This is the stuff you read about in other countries. They literally had a plan. And here's what I find scary. It wasn't just in Donald Trump's head. There were 20, 30 people who knew about it and were close to going through with it.
Congressman Khanna, nice to have you here in
Chris,
person.
always a pleasure.
Be safe. Have a great holiday. That is all.